If you were paying attention to the last 5 minutes of this video, you don't need me to tell you this is one of the coolest, most eclectic bookstores one could ever hope to find. This exceptional and truly unique proprietor of pulp is surely the St. Louis equivalent of a top-secret Swedish bookshop. Better actually, since here they speak their English forward as a customer courtesy. Hammonds Books opened initially as an Art Deco antique store in this very spot in 1979, before evolving into primarily a trader of tomes and survived some of Cherokee's roughest days throughout all those years. Still open as of September 2024, you also don't need me to tell you much else about it, because instead I'm very proud to present in this very special and exclusive footage from 2019 an abridged history and tour from store owner Jovenes herself.
We were renovating old houses. My husband's an architect. And these were houses that had substance. You know, they had beautiful entrance halls, the kind of things people were looking for that they weren't getting in the suburbs. And we used to come down here then. That was when I really discovered this street. And we'd buy old hardware for the houses and light fixtures. There were some really good shops here then. And one day, and my mother, who was very good at, she was very young, she was 60, but very young, and she did all the tile work. She made the stained glass windows for the houses. She was amazing. Well, she came down with us, and while we were looking at light fixtures, she went across the street. 2217 Cherokee was for sale, and my mother bought it. Well, she didn't have a lot of money, but she had a lot of guts. And so she bought it, and she opened up a shop of vintage costume jewelry, and that's where all of this jewelry comes from. It was called the Gypsy Limited, and she bought all kinds of jewelry. Mainly she bought what she liked, so it was really a selection. You know, it wasn't like somebody went and they said, well, give me 10 of this and 20 of that. No, it wasn't like that at all. So then that was how we happened to move down here too, because my mother found out that this building was for sale. And so originally we were an Art Deco shop. I used to collect Art Deco, and there came a time when I just couldn't get it anymore, even from France. So I thought, well, what do I want to do? Let's see. I love books. I love coffee. The smell of coffee. I love perfume. The packaging is so wonderful. Well, the most accessible thing and the thing I love best were books, and that's how we became a bookstore. But it was all a gradual thing. So it's a work in progress. It's evolving all the time, you know. The first year we lived upstairs, and then we expanded it because in those days I did Art Deco furniture. So then we have Civil War, sports, that's a big section. Royalty. Now royalty, it's very difficult to get old books on royalty, but luckily we're still able to get some. The shelves you're looking at right now were built in place by a man from Iraq. He was 5'2", and he would come every day around 5 o'clock and work on building different sections. One day he showed up and he had somebody to help him, and he had a big platter with a fish that he was going to barbecue in my backyard, which he did, and he made dinner for us. And then he would work here until midnight. So these, and they have special fittings so that with time, if the floor changes, you can always extend the height of the leg, you know, so they're very good. And then, you know, recently we brought in a lot of these cases for the jewelry that we have, and it's all vintage jewelry. This that you just looked at, that was a cookbook section. We have a huge collection of cookbooks and art and architecture. We have children's books. There's a big section of children's books. For instance, you know, I mean, this place, it is an invention. But if I had $1 million and I were opening this, I'd have all this. Not me, but this is what happens. I'd probably have all stainless steel shelving, and and it would look just like every other corporate store. But there's a lot of invention, what is it? Necessity is the mother of invention. There's a lot of creativity because, you have to do things in a budget. You don't have $1 million to renovate the whole store, And I think, oh, what would I do? Hello. Hi.
I just came to visit.
Now, this is a friend of mine. How are you doing?
Good, how are you? Every time I come in, your brother's here.
Oh, I'm glad to see you.
You too.
Yeah. I always tell my husband, don't be offended, but I am happier here than I am at home. It's true, when I come here, I feel like I'm at home. But, and I don't really spend that much time here anymore. I'm here just a few days a week, and the rest of the time I'm buying books or listing books or, doing something for the store. But it's a world, So I'm glad that people appreciate it, and they do. It's amazing the kind of response that we get from people.
And on that note, I hope you enjoyed this presentation and also value authentic anecdotal history of real people about their real lives. In my quest to champion the shop small and local movement with documentations like these for posterity, I can hardly think of an aspect finer than recording the perspective of the people behind these ventures on actual location, and think it really showcases an empathetically human side that compels one to support them. 45 years is a mighty good run for any business, and it's astounding it's still standing. You never go, so you better go and experience the place for yourself, despite the risk of spying and buying that thing you didn't know life was denying. And as always with any business of this nature I feature in one of my videos, if you utter the secret promo code Dozenspeed at the checkout counter, you will receive a free blank stare and an instant 0% discount on your purchase. Thank you for watching and supporting small business.
And we have hats. See this hat right here? That was worn, not this particular hat, but the same designer hat, exactly like this, was worn in Mad Men by the lady who owned the department store.